We're very fortunate that Mr. Dan Amos, CEO of one of the best-known and largest companies in the world, has made time in his schedule to be the keynote speaker for our first graduation convocation. Mr. Amos has made sure that Aflac is just not well-known, but also well-run. As the CEO of a publicly traded company, he needs to assure that Aflac provides value to its shareholders. And Aflac is certainly known for its financial performance. But Dan has not stopped there. He's recognized as an ethical and progressive leader, a leader who's created an excellent environment in which to work. Fortune magazine has listed Aflac among America's most admired companies for each of the past 9 years. Fortune also recognized Aflac as the industry leader for quality of management, innovation, and long-term investment. Aflac is routinely listed among best companies to work for and world's most ethical companies. Students, you have something in common with Mr. Amos already. He was in your position at one point, about to graduate from the Terry College at the University of Georgia. We're fortunate to be able to call Dan a friend of the Terry College, so please join me in welcoming Dan Amos, our keynote speaker.
Provost Moorhead, Dean Sumichris, members of the faculty, distinguished guests, fellow alumni, it is truly an honor for me to be here today. While preparing for this speech, I wanted to search for one message that I could give or deliver that would keep your attention. I read words from Winston Churchill, Franklin Roosevelt, and John Kennedy. I searched past commencement addresses from philosophers, academics, and scholars, and after exhaustive research, it finally hit me. The most important thing that I could tell you is that my remarks will be brief. I know that because I was here at one time, as the dean said, because in 1973, I was sitting here just like you are today, anxious to get out into the real world. Today, the University of Georgia is a different school from when I was here. The academic standards that have been set by this school establish you as some of the smartest students in America today. To realize that the freshman class SAT scores for the University of Georgia was 1,263 and the grade point average was 3.8 makes me glad I didn't have to apply when I was going to school. Also, Princeton Review recognizes Georgia as one of the best values in the nation. You graduating from here not only tells me that you're smart, but you have excellent business judgment when it comes to your finances. I personally am proud to be a University of Georgia graduate. It's hard to believe that time has passed so quickly. The world has changed so much since I graduated, and the people of my generation have seen a lot. We have seen the fall of communism when the Berlin Wall came down. We have seen bull markets and bear markets. We've seen interest rates go from 21% back to 4%. And yes, we've seen the University of Georgia win a national championship on the gridiron. We have seen presidents forced to resign from office and another one impeached. We've seen CEOs walking on water only to see them walking handcuffed to the federal courthouse the next year. We've seen towers fall on what many consider to be the saddest day in our nation's history, and we've witnessed the most heartfelt patriotism imaginable as we came together as one nation with a sight set toward fighting the enemy called terrorism. We've also been in good times and in bad times. We've seen the cure rate of childhood cancer go from less than 10% to over 80%. And we've watched technological advancements put a personal computer and a laptop or a Mac or an iPod in every home, and a cell phone or a BlackBerry or a Droid or an iPhone up in every hand. So we've seen the millennium come and go without any disruption to society. Yes, it is amazing what has happened in the 37 years since I have graduated. And I'm sure it will be equally amazing in terms of what will happen in the next 37 years when one of you is up here giving this speech. It is exciting to be this particular period of your life. Throughout the triumphs and the tragedies, the misdeeds and the majesties, two things has remained constant. We live in the greatest country in the world, and you cannot predict. We do, amen. And you cannot predict the future. You can only prepare for it. Next week, most of you will go out and make your mark into the world, and it will be a very different place from when I was there. And you will go in many different directions. Some of you will take the road of public service. Others may end up professors. Some of you may use your business degree to move up the corporate ladder. The possibilities are endless with a business degree from the University of Georgia. But one thing is certain, all of you will be going into a very different world. And I can say that it will be a period of excitement like you have never seen. Every person in America today faces the new reality that is filled with challenges. For those of you leaving and entering the world of business, you face the challenge of restoring the public trust in corporate America. Others of you will equally face demanding tasks as you enter the professional world. That's why I wonder what I would do when I had to graduate and what challenges would be faced. I want to offer you something that will actually help you as you move into the next phase of your life. I have something that is not an answer. Instead, it is a question. It's a question that I hope you will ask yourself for many years to come. It's a question that you should be thinking about all of the time. And it's a very simple question. The question is, where is your treasure? It is a question that I've asked many people many times throughout my years. The origin of the question goes back to when I was your age, and I found it to be one of my favorite Bible verses. It's the 21st verse of the 6th chapter of the book of Matthew, and it reads, "Where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." Where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Now, I didn't come to deliver a sermon, and I probably wouldn't be very good anyway. But I want you to think about the question of where your treasure is. Many people in life believe that their treasure can only be found in the work that they do every day. They focus entirely on their jobs, and that is understandable because in life you have to do that, and you're pulled in many different directions. You have to please so many people all of the time. Customers want better products and demand better customer service. Employees want more money or more benefits. And in my case as a CEO, I have to please shareholders. Shareholders want more profits and consistently want higher earnings. There are countless people who will be demanding things on you. The pressure to succeed can seem overwhelming at times. So your heart has to be with your job, and you have to love it. But while you may treasure a job itself should not be a treasure. Yes, a job can bring you riches and material possessions that will make your life more enjoyable. But if you'll pardon the old cliche, money cannot buy you happiness. So how can you find your treasure? The map begins with passion. Professors here today have a passion for teaching. The administration has a passion for making the university the top academic institution. Having a passion for what you do is the common denominator shared by all successful people, regardless of their jobs. Success should be not measured by material possessions. In fact, I know a lot of miserable rich people. Success should be measured in the number of lives you touch. So I would suggest to you that in order to be happy, in order to be successful, you need to have a passion for what you choose to do. You've already demonstrated that you have a passion by earning a degree from the University of Georgia. Your passion may bring you great wealth, or it may not. But if you follow your passion, regardless of whether you're wealthy or not, you indeed will be a rich person. You will find your treasure. But if passion is the map to finding your treasure, then compassion will be your compass. As a company, Aflac has been blessed with tremendous success, and I personally have been blessed with tremendous success. Success comes with great rewards, and it also comes with a tremendous responsibility. Anyone who owns stock or has watched CNBC or followed the Wall Street Journal has heard a lot in recent days about creating shareholder wealth. And that is my number one responsibility as a CEO. And fortunately, we have done very well. We've been able to weather the financial crisis that tested all financial institutions, and we are stronger today. But a corporation, just like an individual, has to be about more than just increasing profits. I believe that successful companies have a responsibility to give back to a community. At Aflac, we take that social responsibility very seriously. We give to dozens of worthy causes from a philanthropic standpoint, and we focus on predominantly the Aflac Cancer Center at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. Since 1995, the entire Aflac family combined has given more than $50 million to the Aflac Cancer Center, which has been recognized as one of the top 5 children's hospitals in America, according to the U.S. News and World Report. In return, we have found our treasure. It lies in knowing that someday childhood cancer will be cured. It's also found in knowing that along the way we were able to make a small difference in the lives of children and their families. A while back, a mother with a little girl with cancer wrote a letter to the local newspaper about the company, and it said, "I don't know how many of you realize how Aflac has touched the lives of so many children with cancer, nor did I, until my 18-month-old daughter Sanders was diagnosed with cancer in September of last year. Aflac has transformed a traditional hospital floor into a place Sanders and her friends from throughout the Southeast consider home. Because of Aflac, our devastating situation has turned into a rewarding experience." Signed, Allison Estes. That letter meant as much to me as any great financial quarter that we had. It's special because it meant that a corporation can make a difference. Now, don't get me wrong, corporations have to make money. They're not just in the business of giving money away. They have to create value for the shareholders, jobs for the employees, and in the case of insurance companies, have to have the resources to back up the products that they offer. The bottom line is that if a company isn't profitable, then they can't be philanthropic. But in all that you do, it's important to take the time to focus on others. My message to you is that as you seek your treasure, take the time to treasure what matters most in your life: your God, your family, your friends, the people that are close to you. Years from now, when you look back, you'll be glad. If your heart is not in what you're doing, then do something else. Remember, Life is a long journey, not a simple destination. And today, all of you are embarking on that journey. Now, after you leave here in the coming weeks and months and even years, when you cut on the TV and see an Aflac commercial, I hope you'll laugh. If so, I hope you'll think about today and what makes you happy and gives you fulfillment. And I certainly hope that each of you will find your treasure. God bless each one of you, and thank you for having me.